Cheers anyway, man.
Sound
Do
good?
you have a beverage of choice to start this thing off?
Well, I've got H2O, so
That'll do.
that's the first thing I had on choice. Yeah,
I ran around and got a big bottle of the stuff. Just, whoever knows. Never know.
very good. Yeah, it's the
And
old standby. It never fails.
yeah, we are humans. We are humans, so
Yeah,
you need to consume it to survive. It's a
yeah.
simple fact of life, mate.
I don't mean to let chat down. I was actually going to go to the store and get some bubbly flavored water, a little bit of the bubbly, but just didn't have time before preparing for this. So I'll make it up to you guys next time.
Do you have a particular bubbly flavor bottle brand of choice?
Oh yes, oh yes. The blackberry bubbly is where it's at.
Blackberry
The blackberry
bubbly.
bubbly.
I don't feel
Yeah,
like we've got this in Australia. I need to go and find it. Need
I'll ship you some. I will
to...
ship you some.
No, we don't want to do that. We do not want to go and do that.
Yeah,
All right, let's
yeah,
not. You go.
yeah. I was just trying to get stuff prepared here, get myself situated, and it took me forever to get my lighting situation settled too. I apologize for having like lights in the camera because my soundproofing around me actually swallows light whole, so you would see like maybe one side of my face if I didn't do that.
You get the Bond villain thing going on. Like I'm the same. I've got a lamp here to to actually get some fill in from this side. It's the length that we go to for production quality on a podcast like this that people might only listen to audio only.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, we have the luxury of having the video along with it, so that way they can see your sexy face and my eh, subpar face.
Okay, well, thanks for the compliment. Thanks for the compliment. But no, Yendis has also picked up on the standing desk, so it means that I can walk away from the mic so you can't hear me. That's what I can do.
Yeah.
But no, it was timed relatively well. But I bought this bloody desk in like October last year. So when we started working from home endlessly in about March, it's been very useful. But it's got the raise and lower thing, goes up and down. Very happy to have it.
Yeah. Yeah, standing desks are very useful. Working in an office with a standing desk is very useful. I need one for my home as well.
Yeah, I lucked out because you can't buy any office furniture at the moment. It's all out of stock everywhere.
Yeah, it's at a premium quality right now. So we got a whole looks like big 30 people joining us right now.
It's
Cool. Cool.
too
Well,
many people hanging out to listen to our bullshit. But they're here for the oh, Steve with the sub, mate. Way
awesome stuff,
overvaluing my
Steve.
stream. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can't buy webcams either. You're bloody well right on that, Wally. We might as well stop beating around the bush and get into it. So we're here to talk about League 2020. Now, we've
Yes.
probably got some noobs in chat who don't even know what the hell League is. We should probably talk about that. Were you? I mean, this is your first league too, if I'm remembering rightly. You were around, but you didn't weren't too active until kind of late last year. Am I right?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you are correct. I joined, well, actually, if you want to be technical, I joined in February of 2018.
yep,
So that's
been
my
around
league
long enough.
anniversary. Been around long enough, but I haven't got to participate in a league because from February 2018 to around summer 2019, I just didn't feel like playing anymore. But I got the itch again in late summer 2019, just after league ended. So I
Yep.
never had the opportunity until this year.
No, last year was my first league, and I didn't really know what was going on. I kind of got the general concept, but had I have known, I might have got a bit more involved or been a captain or something. But I
Yeah,
played along, and it
yeah.
was all good fun, all good fun. I played Perfect Dark, so I'm planning on doing that again for this. That's the meta. Play the game
Yeah,
that you play the game that you're not as good at.
exactly. You got to bite the bullet when it comes league time, definitely. Yeah. What would you say, like, as far as the newer players that we were talking about, what should they expect as far as like the elite atmosphere goes? Because I mean, it's different.
Yeah, the stream frequency goes up a lot. So day
Yes.
one, you'll see like five like after the first week or two, things quieten off. Not quite back to normal, but there. But certainly the first week, you'll see like 5 or 6 active Goldeneye streams all the time, pretty much 24/7. So it's flat, yeah, flat out in that regard, and there'll be people spamming more commands in chat than ever, or in Discord, because our
And that says a lot.
and one of the really good things about League is it's not permissioned. So like the League chat's all there out in the open. It's in the Carrington Institute, so out there with Noob Network, so everybody can join in. And yeah, ping the bot to try and you can see everybody pings the bot when they wake up to work out well, it's a daily bonus this year, not a daily double, which is a good change. We'll get to that in a bit. But yeah,
Hmm.
working out the daily bonus is, and trying to see where their team is positioned, and all that sort of stuff. So it gets active. There's yeah, lots of people playing, and of course the Doctor Light is shedding a tear for daily doubles. That you would
Yeah.
100% be one of the people shedding a tear
Yeah.
for
It's
daily
his fault
doubles.
they're gone. So I mean, yeah, we should definitely go and invade Dr. Light for us missing our alliteration on daily doubles.
The other thing I guess is it's not hostile, but it is competitive. So some speedrunners are more naturally competitive than others, but leagues and another form of competition where they might not have that. So you see a little bit more of that competitive angle coming out in a few people, and I guess there's sanctioned sub communities as well, because each individual team has their own spot. So each team might go and set up their own Discord channel or have their own chat to be able to help each other out and focus each other, and go. The whole idea is to beat the opposition, right? So
Exactly.
that's what it's
Yeah.
all about.
Yeah. And it's definitely a good thing. You bring up the individualized voice chats and the different channels for League, because one of the perks of League is if you get drafted, you're going to get the individualized coaching of your captain or your teammates, and it it transforms you as a player. It seems.
Yeah, I think it just it brings the best out in some people, and there's plenty of people out there that will help anybody that won't limit themselves to helping their own team, but they'll of course prioritize helping their team. And a big part of it's also not just about learning levels, but your strategy and picking which levels you do and don't go for. Particularly when you're a new player, you need a lot of direction in choosing what to go for, because you may not have the skill to actually be able to pick up one level and get a PB on it in a couple of hours that you've got to play that day. So you're gonna go beast. You've got to be a beast to be able to do that. So having your team and your
Yeah.
captain and good players around you to coach you in that regard is key. It's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah. For you and I, who are basically not the beasts, as you say. Yeah,
Or a PD
it's
dilettante, as I
definitely
like to
helpful.
say.
But we will get into the beasts here in a little bit, definitely, because we've got some lined up. There are definitely some top tier picks. But we brought up the rules earlier. There's a lot of changes this year. At least
Yep.
there's not really like quantity, like a big quantity of rule changes, but there's some impactful rule changes. So what do you see having the most impact?
The end of daily doubles is the big one, easily.
Yeah.
I think it was like the perfect storm last year of a few to be able to see the yin and yang of it, with Fletcher and Dr. Light both basically having blank
Dr. Light. Yeah.
both having blank PD times pages and being able, and the difference between being able to chase the daily double, or which Dr. Light could do. We could go around and go and play each level on each day, get the double bonus. And Fletcher, who came out of the blocks hard and scored some obscene amount of points in the first 2 weeks, something like 3,000 points in the first 2 weeks, but
Yeah.
had to go on, or had to, quote unquote, had to go on vacation. So, had to stop being a degenerate and go and enjoy real life. And and
Oh,
basically,
it's
like,
so sad, isn't it?
and I mean, I'm probably underselling Dr. Light here by saying that they got similar-ish base points. I think Dr. Light got a few more, but they both went crazy in terms of scoring points. But the daily doubles just absolutely just created this night and day gap between the two. So
Yeah.
I don't think that we've got anyone really in that position this year. And we'll talk about the players that we do. There's maybe only one or two that are actually around there sandbagging
Yeah.
to that level. So yeah, we wouldn't have seen that situation this year anyway. But the change to
Yeah.
I really like the change to the daily bonus, because what it's kind of the way that I see it happening is, like, last year I remember I got a PB on Deep Sea Daily Double Day, because I've got PAL, so I've got the cheat console. I figured, why not? Let's go.
Oh, yeah. You're set then for league. Yeah.
um, but like well, I'm still not very good. I was even less good then, and so I think my PB that I got by the end of that was worth. I think it was worth 16 points, even with the cheat console. So, but
Mhm.
it was so double that. It was worth 32 points, which is pretty good output for an hour or two, which is all I had before I had to go and work for that day. So,
Sure.
but so that's the daily double side. But just getting a bonus though, like, all you need is any PB and you get the flat bonus. So it kind of changes the strategy. You just get don't even need an SDES time, mate. You just get PTR -1 and you get 25 free points. That's kind of how it
Exactly.
goes. So it's going to
Yeah.
be, I don't know. I think that might be, I might be, that might be my league strat. I might be giving too much away here, but my league strat might be to just go and get the shittiest PB I can on every level in the daily bonus day and see how I go.
Yeah.
Um,
Why do you think I'm racking up all the PTRs right now?
and go and get that free 25 points and be done with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
the
I
big
mean,
change. The couple of other minor ones, like, there's the return of non-player captains, which is a good choice. I like.
oh yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I do, yes, because it becomes reminiscent of your American fantasy league sports like
Yeah.
baseball, basketball, football, things like that. And although there's no non-player captains this year, I see it being a stalwart, so to speak, in the future. Because I mean, we already have 11 teams this year. It probably wouldn't have worked out for us to have more teams this year. Um, but in the future, upwards of maybe 15. Anything past that might be a little pushing it, but it wouldn't be surprising to see 15 teams somewhere around there in the teens for the future, just because of the non-player captains. Someone might be willing to step up and just become the manager and not worry about playing if they don't have the playing time to do it. So it's something that I actually thought about doing this year, but I wanted to play, and I didn't want the responsibility of captaining this year. So maybe, just maybe, there'll be a little 2021 inner circle rising. We'll see.
Yeah, so I was just modding people in chat to get rid of dickheads. So I didn't manage to catch much of that, but I like you said, I like the idea of the proper fantasy. So tell me if I'm just repeating what you said, but I really like the idea of non-player captains because it's got a potential to bring back in some players who might not be actively playing but are still hanging around the community.
Essentially, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll touch on it here in a little bit that we've kind of had a revival, so to speak, of some players who have been away for a while, and all of a sudden they're active again, and some are even tearing up the rankings. But it could bring some people back potentially to manage a team. It could be it could have that kind of impact.
Yep. Alka's calling for the Sterling Never return as a non-player captain.
Yeah.
Mate, I'd say Sterling's got some genuine potential. If you look at his times page, he could be a player captain. Let's
Honestly, yeah.
um,
Yeah, we can mail an N64 out on his yacht and have him. We can have him just tear apart the rankings page again, like it's the year 2000.
uh, the other thing which I like in theory, which we won't know because Paulie is understandably keeping them under lock and key, is conceptually Paulie's saying that the daily no sorry not the daily the weekly bonuses
Weekly
are
bonuses, yeah,
going to be team focused. So conceptually, I love the idea of that. Like I've got no idea what they're going to be, but trying to group the team together rather than actually to make it a proper team sport in some regards,
yeah,
rather than just being the sum of your parts. Um,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I actually love the sound of that too because um, we touched on it earlier about how Fletcher and Dr. Light and people like that have the potential to carry their team. This could be somebody who doesn't have a high draft pick or just maybe the captain isn't up as far as like on the rankings as far as the other captains go comparatively.
you mean
This could
maybe
be a
they're
way
not
of pulling the
ace?
team back in. What's that? I'm
You
sorry.
mean maybe the captain is not ace?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, hold on. Ace and Liosco. We can't forget about
Yeah, ace
Liosco.
and Liosco, correct? Yes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
correcting
I
me.
mean, first we got to talk to Polly about that. I mean, that is just the most overpowered thing. Like you have one of the greatest players of all time, and he's one of the most electrifying players today, and then he has a dual champ along with him. I mean, come on.
It's an intimidating. It's intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, yeah. If you're not ace, then yeah, you have the potential to bring yourself back in it with the weekly challenges.
Yeah. I guess I've got this analogy that I often pull out, or maybe analogy is not the right thing, a comparison, right? So the sport that I always use is cricket, but considering most people are going to be more familiar with baseball, I might use that. But like, so
Yeah,
if you compare baseball as a sport to cycling as a sport, like Tour de France, road racing cycling,
yeah,
baseball is this team sport where you get a team outcome, but it is all based on individual effort because it's one pitcher thrown to one batter, and
hmm
there's all these individual battles that are going on, as opposed to at the other extreme of that is like road racing cycling, where you've got it's an individual sport because the person who wins is the one person on the bike, but the way that they get there
hmm
is by being supported by the team, by having their domestiques right in front of them so that they can sit in behind and get the draft. So what I really like about the team challenges, it sounds like it's kind of skewing the it's skewing it away from that baseball end of that spectrum, if you think about that, where it's all about all about individual effort, and a single player can lift the entire team. It's actually bringing it back to kind of like a team spread. So that's where conceptually I really like that. Should be fun.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. With baseball was the best sport you could have brought up right there because I've always said with baseball, it's the one sport where you can neutralize their best player. You can take their bat right out of their hands by walking them and putting them on base.
Yeah.
And with this, it's kind of you're going the opposite direction. You're bringing the whole team element back. I've never watched cycling too much, but I understand what you're saying, and that's kind of a very near parallel as to what's going on.
Yeah, so it should be fun.
I absolutely love the idea of it. Definitely. Um, eh, you know, we got the boring stuff out of the way with the rules, with all that good stuff, with the facts. Let's get into some opinions. Let's start talking about some of the players.
All right.
Let's start getting into the meat of all
Well,
this.
do we want to know who's going to
So
pick them first, though? The teams, the captains, or do we want to talk about players first? What?
let's talk about the captains
All
first.
right.
Then we'll go down and we'll talk about the players and the potential
So
as to
I
where
believe
they'll
that
go in the draft.
the draft order happened overnight my time. I actually haven't read or looked at it properly yet. Where did that
All
end
right.
up?
So I've got it right here. I've got it right here. So your number one pick in this year's 2020 the Elite League draft belongs to the Backstrafe Boys in Kaido. Yeah,
Number one in team name, number one in draft order, number one in our hearts.
the bot knew. He knew. Yeah, the bot knew. It's yeah, unbelievable turn of events. So really, what I was getting at with the captains, you could draft a couple different ways.
Yep.
With the number one pick, um, and with the way that Kaido is set up, he's obviously a very good Goldeneye player. He's got some gaps to work on with Perfect Dark if he wants to play Perfect Dark. Um, how do you anticipate him drafting? Do you think he'll take maybe the best player overall, or do you think he'll draft somebody to help him with Perfect Dark?
Um, it's a tricky little conundrum, that one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because I think you've kind of got to draft for your overall team performance rather than directly in response to you.
absolutely agree.
So
Yeah,
I don't know if I was in Kaido's position, I would probably be trying to pick the player who I think is going to score the most points, and
yeah, yeah.
then later fill in that perfect dark knowledge from somewhere.
See, as the number one pick, you have that luxury. You know,
That's right.
you can pick whoever you want, and we'll go into who we think will be incredible first round choices here in a bit. But um, I'd say he has a solid selection of maybe five to choose from, and he's sitting pretty. You know, so um,
He's got the free choice, man.
exactly, yeah, and he can fill in his holes later. Number
He
two
can fill in his holes
is the
later.
Dirty Birder.
He can fill in his holes later.
Yes. So Randy's number two.
Randy's too.
Yes.
Has the man run out of chicken nuggets yet? That's what I really want to know.
I don't know, honestly. Like, I mean, he cut off his promo video before he finished the chicken nuggets. I mean,
That's
legend
controversial.
has it he's still eating to this day.
That's controversial.
It is. It is. Yeah, he let
Randy,
the chicken nuggets do the talking.
Randy's an interesting, going to be an interesting captain. And if you only looked at like the headlines last year, like for somebody like you who wasn't around too
Yeah.
actively in the community last year, you might have not noticed. I think Randy was actually like the number two MVP for me last year, which might be
As far as points goes.
not as far as points goes, but just in terms of like his output, because he was basically there was a section through kind of like mid late league where Randy was basically going toe to toe with Dr. Light pretty much every day. Both of them were chasing dailies, and and Randy had a much fuller times page than Dr. Light. So Khalil is a man that's got a bit of competitive drive within him. So
Yeah.
I think that league kind of brings out the best in Randy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
He's
yeah,
been grinding on Silo for a while, so that very well could be the extra little thing that he needs to get over
well,
the
yeah,
hump on that.
he'll stop playing for an insane time on silo and start
Yeah.
playing just anything to pick up points. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think don't underestimate Randy, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, he's
What,
sitting really pretty. The second pick, that's definitely a good spot to be in for
and I
sure.
don't know whether it was his knowledge or whether he was just using tutorials, but he was tearing up in PD last year to be able to do that. So Um, yeah, I don't actually know. I'm not in Randy's headspace to know which way you'd want to pick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to tell you there because I mean the man's in the world of his own based on his promos, but he's a top 50 player in both games. So I mean um, he's definitely in a good spot for sure. He's almost top 50 in GE, but I mean he might as well be, you know.
Yep.
So um, number three, number three is draft me and see what happens. The Canary Coalition.
There's the joke. That's the joke we've
Yeah,
all been
there it
hanging out
is.
for. The uh,
Yeah.
the Canary Coalition, and I don't know. I hope Happens just puts more effort into League than he did into his promo video. Like just typing words into Notepad and screen capturing, and then dropping a song over the top of it.
Yeah.
I did really like his song choice for what it's worth. I haven't heard that song in years. Years.
Yeah.
What's the song? Paralyzed. I don't even know what the name of that song is.
It was
But
Finger 11.
Finger 11.
Finger
Yeah.
11. Yeah. Paralyzer.
What a
Yeah. It's been a
terrible name
while.
for a band. Terrible name for a band. What I guess I will say this then: Canary Coalition is a much better name than Finger 11.
You can only go up from there. So,
But Happens is he's a turncoat. He's gone from GE to PD. Just plays that these days. So um,
yeah.
see how he goes. I haven't thought about Happens draft strategy yet. What?
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean as far as the turncoat goes. The PD, the dark
You've
side
done
is
it too.
strong with this person right here. So I know what you mean. Yeah. Well, yeah, he's kind of in a unique position because he's got experience in both. So it, he's in a strong position. So you know, I'm sure that he's got his eye on our first round choices here in a little bit. So he can go any way he wants to, really. Number four, number four is BK,
Ah,
the Turnip Squad.
best Carl.
Yeah, best Carl indeed. Yes, indeed.
PD top 20.
Yeah, I've had my own thoughts about the way he's going to draft because he's got experience in both and he's got heavy experience in both. But do you have maybe an idea as to his headspace right now?
I guess the way that I'd be thinking about it if I'm at him is I'd be looking for Goldeneye players, to be honest, because he's obviously got in-depth knowledge across Perfect Dark. He's top 20, top 15, even
Yeah.
top 13 is in that chunk. So he's going to be able to help the people that need it along, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'd be looking for GE knowledge. So that's probably where I'd be looking. You might even pick up some of the I might even pick up somebody who would be somebody like a Wotus might be a good pick for BK, which
Yeah.
might feel a little bit wonky, but considering he's a GE champ, so how much opportunity does he have? But like he's obviously going to have a shit ton of GE knowledge, um, and Wotus has played a bit of PD, but there's still got plenty of gaps there to go and fill it if you can motivate him. So maybe someone like that for
Mm-hmm.
BK might be a good choice.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I envisioned it as well. You know, his first round draft choice, if he were to get somebody strong in Goldeneye, and then if he wanted to mold some other, you know, Perfect Dark potential players later on down the line, you know,
Yeah,
he's got
don't pick
he's
your
got good
PD
options
beasts.
that way.
Pick the ones that have got empty times pages to fill up. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, almost halfway through. Number five is the Untitled Kev Squad.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of chat about this after Kev's performance last year, but Kev's kind of been in beast mode. Project B, Project B says Harry, is the name.
Yeah.
So, is that an exclusive name reveal right here in League Chat?
I was gonna say I don't remember him announcing that. That is that's hot stuff
It
right
is
there.
actually a really good name.
Yeah.
Um, even if it's not his team name, you should just go with that now. That's a really
Yeah,
good
I
team
know.
name.
Like Kev, if you're listening, you may want to take that advice. That's good.
But
Yeah.
Kev's kind of entered a bit of beast mode since lockdown. So um, yeah, I
Well, he lives or he resides in Washington State right now, if I remember right.
believe
So
so. Yeah,
he he Washington State got hit hard because of COVID-19, and they had to really shut everything down. So
yep,
he has had the time to grind for sure, and he's turned it into a top five performance. Or well,
yeah.
former top five now, but yeah,
That's yeah. I'd forgotten that he hit PD top five. So clearly high skill, clearly very high skill. Go and play some Goldeneye and do the reverse of the standard league meta.
yeah.
So
He had talks about being burnt out on Perfect Dark before the top five, so it could be the Goldeneye show for Kevin. Honestly,
could be, could be, and so
yeah,
I guess maybe a similar draft strategy for him as BK then.
yeah. Well, next is the co-captains of Ace and Leosco.
Ooh, that's six. Now,
He got caught in purgatory. Yeah.
do they take their first pick in round two because they start out with two players?
Well, the way the second round works, it's like a
It's a snake draft, right?
yeah, it's a serpentine draft. Yeah, yeah.
Serpentine,
So
serpentine. That's
yeah, like a little serpentine belt. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Um,
so
you know,
for those who
Polly,
aren't.
we're gonna have to appeal to the commissioner on this one. I don't know. Is Leoso going to have to pick one round and then Ace is going to have to pick the next round? Like, is that the way that's going to work? I don't know.
I don't know. Or is Liosco the true captain and Ace counts as the round one pick? We'll have to see.
Ooh, yeah, that's interesting too.
Kind of
Yeah, I
like
didn't even
your
think about that.
keepers in your if you've got a fantasy league and you're carrying over your keeper from one round to the next, 1 year to the next,
Yeah,
you lose your
yeah.
round
I
one
mean,
pick in order to have your keeper. So
yeah. Well, Leosko's a strong enough player that if he's going to have a keeper like Ace, then I mean, yeah, he should be subtracted a draft pick. Are
yep,
you listening, Polly? I think that sounds like a great idea.
yep, yep. I think
Well,
we'll put that forward as a professional recommendation as the only two people doing league analysis.
exactly. Yeah, we have the monopoly on that.
That's right. Oh, he's going
Well,
to pick. That's
next,
Yendis is right before we move on. So
what's
first
that?
he's going to pick Swiss first round. So it's going to be
True
imagine this for
that.
a team: Ace, Leosco, Swiss, Jez,
Yeah.
Madness.
Oh man. Yeah, that's a very blue squad. I like it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Ace got stuck in purgatory with the middle draft pick, but it's it. If he would have ended up with the number one pick, like we would have just had the best case of top player privilege we would have ever seen right there.
No, the
You
best
know?
best case of top player privilege was Elu's 5 boost statue 218.
Yeah, yeah. Probably 1 and 1A there. Yeah, yeah. That was really remarkable. Well, next up we have Big Steve and Chateau Factas.
Ah, very nice. I
Yeah.
see. I see you're adding a wee bit of French there to the.
Well, I tried. I'm no Joris, but I tried. I tried. Um, it, I might have to have Steve come over with a bottle from the chateau sometime and correctly teach me how to pronounce it.
I think he's he's doing his wine training, so he probably knows how to do it correctly. I will say that
Yeah,
all of the wine labels are tier one league content, and I hope that most of the teams just throw their current icons in the bin and use the wine labels instead.
exactly. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I mean he might not have had a promo that talked trash, but
It did
the
respond to
wine
Swagooda
labels.
with about 4 shots of was it vodka or tequila or what white spirit was it? I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but that was
Four shots
pretty
of whiskey,
phenomenal.
Ted says. And Luke's
Yeah,
coming in saying it's Luke's pick for number one team name this season.
yeah.
So there's a ringing endorsement for the Doctor D.
Good stuff indeed. Good stuff indeed. Um, do you think he's missing not having a top draft pick?
Um, no, I think he's a medical doctor by trade, right? He's smart enough to roll with punches and work out where he needs to go. So he'll I think he's one of the more organised of the captains too. I think he's been talking about having draft boards. I'm not gonna ask him to share who's on it, but yeah, I reckon he's going to be playing out all kinds of scenarios in his head, and
Oh yeah.
we'll know where to go before he even gets there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The wheels are spinning in the old wheelhouse for Steve, definitely.
So
Oh,
I'd say he'd probably lean towards PD. He's clearly a far stronger GA player, so he'll probably be trying to pick a PD player first.
sounds right. Yeah. I've talked with him briefly. I think it was in the Outer Heaven Discord. I can't remember, but he brought up the prospect of maybe playing PD for a couple levels, but he's one of the guys that's going to be primarily a Goldeneye player throughout this league. That's just his game.
Yeah,
He doesn't he doesn't really fancy PD too much, at least not at this stage of his career. So um,
yeah,
yeah, I
entirely fair.
foresee a similar draft strategy.
Steve and I were on the same league team last year, and I gave him a piece of advice then, which is still stands. Anytime playing PD is time that you're not spending playing GE. So when you've only got limited play time, you play the one where you're more likely to play the one where you're more likely to get your results.
Exactly. Yeah. And Perfect Dart's a real knowledge based game. If you don't have the
Yeah,
knowledge down, then yeah, you're gonna be left up a creek for sure.
very heavy.
Next up is Samo.
Samo, oh mate, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the rage. I'm looking forward to the rage that is coming.
He dropped a very Samo promo
Yeah,
leading up to
entirely
this.
Samo. 100%
Yeah.
Samo.
Yeah. One of the best things I've ever seen, honestly.
I can only hope that we get a moment similar as what we did last year when he got his Bunker One PB, where like it's like a 7 or 8 minute PB video because the last minute and a half of it is the actual run, and the first 4 or 5 minutes is Samo just drunk and raging at the game because it's brutal. Um, but Samo also hasn't spent like last year he'd last year Samo had spent like 18 months being the PTR champ and sandbagging in his own way, right? So what can Samo
Yeah.
do this year personally when he's not spent 18 months 18 months sandbagging? I'm not
Yeah.
and yeah, Samo doesn't play PD. He's not a PD man. He's got to be PTR
No.
champ, so it's got to be at least League 2021 before he plugs the PD card in.
Yeah. If then. I mean, he may protest PD still because, I mean, you remember in Sandpap, he dedicated a song to PD, and we all know how it goes.
He
So,
might play Twine before PD, to be honest.
if he cashes in Twine points during League, then that is something special. Well, Big Samo. After that, Yendis and the group therapy is next up.
There's so many teams this year, like which is great.
Yeah.
We just keep going, just keep going. Oh, Harry's saying that he doesn't exist. He's been skipped. Is
Oh,
have we missed the
breaking
Sheffield
league
Speed
development.
Stars?
Um, I think I did. Unfortunately, Harry is before Samo.
Harry's
So,
before Samo. All right, we've moved straight past Harry.
yeah,
I've,
the
I,
Sheffield Speedo Stars are. Unfortunately, they skipped right over my eyes, and I
they were
apologize.
too fast, mate. They just zoomed right past you.
They're too fast. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Big apologies there, Harry. But yes, yes. Harry's probably in the opposite boat as far as Samo goes. He's probably going to be primarily PD. He hasn't played GE in a long time, it seems. So um,
Yep.
maybe he's looking to draft GE and make up for it.
Before all the shit talk start, he did. Before all the shit talk started, he did have the best league promo, cutting out the, I think it's initial D stuff, and yeah, he had the best league promo, and then the shit talk started, and he hasn't responded. So,
Yeah, yeah, I'm eagerly awaiting that response.
but
Definitely.
I think Harry's been keen on league since about league last year. I think he started planning what he was gonna do. So, um, yeah, I'm keen to see what Harry can come up with.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure he's got something cooked up. Definitely.
Yeah, gonna be good.
Well, yeah, the bottom half of the draft, there's Yindis at 10th, which the bot screwed him over really bad, but I think he's still going to be a strong competitor.
Because it's the Serpentine draft and it loops around. Sometimes these late rounds are actually quite a good spot to be in, because
You could do the 2-for-1.
yeah, you get the 2 for 1 deal. You get you might get a late round 1 pick, but you get an early round 2 pick. So and so sometimes, depending on, I mean, this is where your strategy comes into it, but you you can get some really good value down in the late stages of round 1. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
good opportunity there.
yeah.
Yendis is
Yindis can more than make up for it too.
yeah. I think I'm wondering whether we're going to see a return of the Mountain Dew edition of Perfect Dark this year. If you weren't around in League, you might not have heard about that. So
I don't think I am familiar with it.
last year, Yendis had a excuse me. Last year, Yendis had a few issues with his RGB mod that was mostly G rather than R and B, and so he
Oh,
was recording gameplay in green and black. It was so
oh,
so
wow.
we had a few Mountain Dew editions which were uh, not proof-worthy in that they didn't need 60 points, but they had Mountain Dew proof in order to claim the daily bonus, daily double.
Yeah. If it's good enough for daily double bonus, then that's fine.
That's all
That's
we
fine.
need.
I just hope that Yindis got some kind of sponsorship out of it.
Coke Gaming, Mountain Dew Gaming. So, yeah, like
Yeah.
Yendo's got like top 20 skill, but a top 70 times page. So he's got time to play. He's personally he's got some good potential to make bank.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's summer break for him, so yeah, he'll be able to cash in.
But being that deep
Well,
down, you kind of need to be a bit reactive, I guess, and just pick whoever's available. Have your short list and hit them.
hmm yeah. It, he's a smart fellow. I'm sure he'll have some kind of plan.
Definitely.
So that leaves the New World Discord, brother.
So that's what you get for talking the most shit, or for starting the shit talk, is you
Exactly.
get the last. Or did Spag? I don't know. Did Spag sandbag the bot to make sure that it wasn't seen to be favoring
Ah,
him? Because I don't know whether the code's available for other people, like whether it's an open source bot, because they did the draw via the
yeah,
bot, I'm assuming. So maybe Spag
yeah,
likes the wraparound point and just forced himself to the bottom, so it
yeah,
wasn't quite as sus as pick number one. Just putting that out there.
yeah. The old reverse rig. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
So no, but I'm glad to see Spag make a return to the controller. Right, like he hasn't played too much in the kind of 18 months that I've been around the community. He's played a little bit here and there, but it's going to be good to see the return.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely good to see. And actually, he was going to do non-player captain. He would have been our first non-player captain since it was brought back, but he decided to pick up the controller after all.
Yeah, which is a good call. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah, yeah. He's got if he has the time to play, his times page is ripe for the picking for sure.
Plenty of opportunity. Yeah.
Well, now that we talked about our El Capitans, um, let's talk about maybe who they'll select.
Yep.
So, Let me get my list pulled up here. Not the list of Jericho, but the list of potential picks. And
What is the list of Jericho
see
for
what.
us non-wrestling nerds out there?
I actually have the list somewhere around here. I don't know where it is. Um, so, all right. The way I'll do this. Um, there's a couple names that I have in mind, and I'm not just going to blurt them out. The way the way I'll ask it to you is, whenever you think of a first round pick, what was the very first name that just popped up into your mind right now?
Will Zelliver.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
He stopped playing Streets and started going wild on GE. And then I think he spent the last month, or at least the last few weeks, Wixie Lever. Yeah, that's right.
Wixie Lever, yes.
Playing intentionally with cheats on in PD just so that the times don't save. So that's fair game,
Yeah.
right? Like that's
I mean, it is. It is. I won't knock him. Yeah.
so yeah, I think Wixie Lever's probably going to go in the first couple. Probably in the first couple.
Yeah.
I think he's number one on most people's hit list.
Honestly, I mean, yeah. If you're listening, Kaido, you've got your LeBron James right there. You've got your Zion Williamson. If you want to make all your NBA comparisons, they're right there. I mean, you've got your guy. That's for sure. I mean, that's not to say there's not other tier one picks available. I mean, there's definitely a deep list that we have this year. But the fact is, I've talked to Will about the league this year, and maybe not a lot of people know, but he's from New York State, so he's locked down currently.
Right.
So he's got the time to play.
You've got plenty of. So it's a matter of motivation at that point, then, isn't it? Can you be bothered to turn the console
Yeah.
on each day? Because that's don't underestimate that. It can be draining. It turns into a job at a certain
Oh,
point.
absolutely. Yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely it is. And the other side of that coin is, ever since he joined, he's shown no signs of slowing down. I mean, he um, he can be a little bit of an emotional player. I've hung out with him in voice chat a couple times in the Outer Heaven Discord,
yeah,
and that's fine. We all can be emotional, but he works through it and he grinds through it. He's a grinder, so definitely, if there was a tier 0 pick in this draft, that would be the name I'd go to as well.
yeah, he was the one that kind of stood out the most to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we have our tier 1 list right here, and we've gone over a couple names before when we were testing out, some video settings, when we had to stop ourselves because we're like, no, this isn't the show. This isn't it. We could probably go all night.
I would wait, like I said at the time, I would waste all my shitty jokes just on you, and then chat would miss out on them. We can't have that.
I know. Yeah, there's got to be an audience for that. Absolutely. Well, yeah, we go down the list here. What would you look for out of a draft pick, and who would you say would be some other top tier 1 picks that would stand out?
Look, I think Para is going to be the other one who's got
Piss Pounder, yeah.
Piss Pounder, the yes, Piss Pounder, exactly, that guy.
Yeah.
Because he plugged in the PD card again. So if he changes, like it's going to be about how he chooses to play, because he's clearly just been going for like world records and stuff like that so far.
Yeah.
So if he changes his play style, I actually don't know how his motivation works, like whether he's like a highly competitive guy or not. I mean, but clearly, god level gamer with being a top tier Super Mario 64 speedrunner. Like you don't get into that echelon of of whatever that is without being a bloody god gamer. So
absolutely.
Yeah. That's
Super Mario 64 is a whole nother thing. I mean, I couldn't ever imagine running that. As much as I love Mario and those games, No, there's no way, and it takes a special kind of crazy to do that.
Yeah, there's a level of technicality there that I mean, my brain hurts trying to switch from Goldeneye to Perfect Dark, where where it's, you know, I
It still does for
that
me, so I don't know what you're talking
that
about.
Samo song just comes back to haunt me every time. So
Yeah.
yeah, Para's a high skill guy. If he's motivated um, and uh, and pointed in the right direction, and
If he plays for points,
yeah,
then the sky is the limit because I think for Goldeneye, he really only has the Boring 4 and Bunker 24. And then Perfect Dark, he has like maybe 300 points. If he fills out his times page, then
yeah,
yeah, you've got a strong pick.
endless opportunity, right? So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Um, as far as, oh, speaking of that just reminded me. If we're talking about blank times pages, we've got a wild card that's a tier one pick.
oh, go
And
hit me.
I think you know where we're going with this. The train or the second in line train master, it seems, Repo.
Repo, man, if he can play something that's
Yeah,
not train, like he's going for 1 minute, I think, on Train Agent.
the Madman.
I, I cannot fathom that. I cannot
No,
fathom that. Um, yeah, I don't know. Imagine picking Train as your entry level into Goldeneye and just going mental on it. And I think he most of the early times that he got on it were NTSC too, weren't they? Like he didn't switch to PAL until recently.
absolutely unbelievable.
So clearly got dedication. Like that's an obscene level of skill to be able to do that. And yeah, like you said, blank time page, like opportunity bloody everywhere to
Mhm.
go and fill that in.
Yeah, yeah. He's got potential, and he joined the Perfect Dark side as
Oh,
well. I
has
mean,
he?
he
So
hasn't
so
filled out any times for it yet.
he's joined the dark side as well,
Yeah,
and he's just popped
yeah.
up in
I don't know
chat.
how often he plans to play, but he's joined that side.
Yeah, very might be a deep cut. You might have alerted some captains there to somebody they might not have had their eye on yet.
Well, that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, to provide the insight. So you got to listen to get the edge. Well, for tier one picks, I mean, you look at those tier one picks that's on the forums that I
Yep,
believe it was Harry that posted the potential picks. All those tier one picks, you honestly could make a case for any of them. But
some for some reason this guy got put in tier one. That was a severe mistake on somebody's part.
oh no, 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 no,
I think
no!
they just worked through the
You
list
definitely.
alphabetically, and C is kind of towards the top, so they typed my name in early.
Yeah.
That was a bad choice.
Well, if you get the time to play, then I see the argument. I see it.
Yeah, if I've got time to play, I'm a good I'm a half decent risky late round pick. I'll say it
Yeah.
that way.
Well, there's a couple more names, and we both wrote down names, and
Yep,
we it seems like there's so much overlap that I'm kind of just like I'm going off what you sent me right here because it's like, well, I've got what
got the
that
same
same thing
thing.
written down. Um, the that hot cold man himself,
The hot
he
cold man.
seems to be he seems to be really.
Our number three player
I mean,
from the recent GE Match Play Cup,
exactly. Yeah,
and
he's got the tools.
the Thought Coldman. But yeah, he was another underrated player. I think maybe not underrated, but he was a player that did really well in league last year. Um, I think he's pretty competitively driven. So yeah, I think he's got potential to do really well this year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and he plays both games. I don't know if he has PAL or not, but I mean,
I think that's the only chink in the armor.
yeah, it doesn't really matter. He's got both games. He's got potential to raise both. Top
You're
fifty
only
G
giving
player.
away two or three doubles there with Deep Sea Agent SA and Mayan agent, maybe. That's about it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but the next person that I would like to bring up, he's kind of capped himself, but at the same time, he really could go as far as he wants to in Goldeneye. But the reason why he's capped himself is because he doesn't really play PD, and that's Colton Hinkle.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what Colton's done in the first, was it 6, 9 months that he's been in the game, he's
he joined. Well, okay, like I said, I joined in 18, but we started playing in August 19, the same time. And you look at the amount of progress he's made compared to me. Yeah,
yeah. I think Colton's a very good value pick, a very very good value pick. I think. Yeah, he's probably not that tier zero type that's going to completely destroy or tear shit up for your team, but very very good value out of that, out of Colton, I reckon.
absolutely. Mm-hmm. And if you get the opportunity to watch him stream, you'll most likely see his golden retriever on stream as well, which is always a treat.
Cutest dog in the elite.
I would say so. Honestly, you'd be hard pressed to find another one.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, get some perfect Jaces up in the chat.
There
That's
it
the
is.
perfect. Yeah, that's the perfect opportunity. Well, that's pretty much like those are some high ceiling picks.
Yep.
We there were some other names that
I
we
mean,
had
so we haven't talked
that would
about
definitely
our
be
young friend Perna there, who is
Mr. Leo
also,
Perna. We were going to bring him up.
well,
Absolutely.
you know he's coming, but he's a New York fellow.
Yeah,
He's a New York fellow, so
yeah.
he's going to be in lockdown.
He's
But
going to be in lockdown, and he's young, so I mean he'll have the time to play. You know, he doesn't really have maybe some of the other responsibilities that some of the older leaders such as ourselves would have.
would you like a counterpoint on Perna though? Because
What about Perna? I'm sorry.
I'm going to give you a counterpoint on Perna,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
which applies. It also applies very heavily to me. It's why I am actually not a very good pick. So League isn't just about the points you gain for your levels, also the bops that you take, because you lose your points for your
Yeah, you can
for
go
your times it
negative.
gets
Yeah,
bopped, right? So you can go negative. Um, and so Perna's play style is similar to my own in that we've run around and just picked up low mid points on all these random levels that are often quite easily bopped. So Perna might actually be losing more points than he gains. You can balance that out with some PBs pretty easily, but there's a little counterpoint on our young friend.
that's a very solid point, honestly. Yeah, because I mean, it's one of the outer heaven memes that we cash in our perna points whenever we
And the reason that I'm aware of this is because, and Alka's already pointed it out, is that Alka's times page bled like 300 points or more last league. So
can. Yeah,
I questioned before league last year. I wondered why nobody picked Alka up, and I think that's a big part of it. Is just that his times
yeah,
page was easily knocked,
yeah,
so too easily go negative.
yeah. Well, and I mean, honestly, you talk to some of the other players who I've brought up, Perna being a pick,
Yep.
and one of the things that always gets brought up is because he's so young, is the maturity issues.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah,
You
I
got
mean,
it's we'll see. Maybe he's going to be growing up quickly. I'll
yeah,
say that. So
yeah,
you know, and maybe a little bit of a team environment is going to be good help focus, all of that sort of stuff. So it could be a good pick
well,
there.
I'll say one thing: Perna, you need to get a CRT TV. Is what you
Oh
need to do.
my word! Is that boy still playing on LCD?
Yes, he is without a retro tink. I don't mean to kill your draft stock, man, but I mean seriously, come on, it's time to arm up.
Maybe actually, okay. So if there's any loaded captains out there that want to buy Perna a retro tink, there
There
you
we
go.
go. Yeah, yeah. You get yourself a late round steal and just like load him up, and he'll become the most unstoppable force for you.
Yeah, I mean, people have already bought Will PD, so it's not that far to.
True. Yeah, there's charitable people out there in the elite, definitely. So, not only PD, but the Jap PD as well. So he's gotten two copies.
All right. Well, I'll say this much, Will. Don't go for the investigation skips on Japanese PD because I lost like 5 or 6 hours of my life that I'll never get back because apparently the Japanese version makes a 2 pixel trick a 1 pixel trick. So don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh yeah, because Joanna has a different head on
She
the
got a head,
Japanese
yeah,
version, doesn't she?
got a
Yeah,
head change. So I didn't
yeah.
know that until I posted my time, and then Kev goes, yeah, don't play it on JP. I should have pulled out my PAL console and played it on PAL. I would have been better off.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's man. At
Alka's
least somebody
Alka's the skip
corrected you
master
though.
saying, yeah, he's sitting here going, it's only ever had one double laser on JP. So
Yeah, man. That those are little nuances you don't think about, but that's what league coaching is for, definitely.
that's right.
Well, we jumped the line with Perna there, but I mean, we were going to bring him up eventually.
He's gonna come in,
Um,
yeah.
there's another man of mystery that he could go first round, maybe will go first round. It really just depends on honestly the time of day. Um, MDC Matthew DeCaraful. If the dude's on, you've got yourself a lightning pick.
Absolutely. Um, MDC came in last year. Like he only joined the community midway through league, and came in and just tore shit up. And that was just playing Goldeneye.
Yeah,
And then in between then and now, he's added PD to his bag of tricks. So if he's
yeah,
playing, he's even a stronger pick than he was last year. So yeah,
yeah.
very good pick
But that's the thing, though. If he's playing,
if he's
because
playing.
he takes like uh, he'll take like an entire month off sometimes, but then he'll come back and go hard for a month. So I mean,
Maybe this is the
maybe it's
motivation he
just
needs to go hard.
exactly, yeah. Maybe it's that little extra step he needs. And you know you can't really knock someone for doing that. Some people are more generous than others.
Uh,
So I mean, here we are talking about a draft for a 20-year-old video game. So,
yep.
but if the dude's on, he's on, definitely.
I think
So,
Bands is a good pick if he stops playing jungle.
say that again.
Bands is a good pick if he stops playing jungle.
Yeah, yeah. If Bands gets out of jail, which I mean, he may free himself temporarily for League. I haven't really talked to him about League. Um, he's been busy doing some work for the SDS server, which I highly appreciate.
Uh,
But
Top quality work.
if he decides to take a break from that, then he's got time to fill in on PD, and he's got a lot of NAs still on Goldeneye as well.
Yeah, yeah, really good. And like you can see from his jungle times that he's clearly high skill. So definitely got a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. Um, oh, we brought him up earlier, so we might as well name the daily bonuses and weekly bonuses the Doctor Light rule, because I mean it's it's kind of his fault. I mean it. We'll just go ahead and place it there. But that aside, um, if he decides to fire up the GE cart, do you see him being a solid first round pick?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like he's 80 or 85 or 90 points plus. Like he's in PD, so He's going to play GE, but he's in chat saying he won't play much. One of the things I do know about Dr. Light is he's a pretty competitive person. So if you if he gets engaged, then watch out.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it could be. Well, I won't say it's another repeated performance of League last year because that's just physically not possible with the new bonuses. But
no,
I mean,
I
yeah,
mean, but
you'll get
really
the
good,
same drive from
like top five, I think PD once he got his power console. So
yeah.
clearly excellent PD knowledge if you're looking for somebody to fill out that side of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. He could be that that wise sage that you would need for your PD needs on a team. Um, we'll go through our shared
Should
little
we
list
share the
here.
statement that's popped in chat? Last year in league I played and did great. I don't think I'm a great pick this year. Last year burnt me out heavily, and I really don't want that to happen to me again. So I'm probably not going to play it much at all, and just going to see how it happens. So pick me and see what happens.
The running joke.
But no,
Well,
I completely see his point. I think even at a lower, even if he's not picked in the early rounds, he's still a good pick. Mid late rounds, he'll
yeah,
be able to share some PD knowledge, and when he does play and doesn't play
yeah.
LTK, he'll
Hmm.
be able to fill in some good Goldeneye stuff for you.
Yeah. I'm sure he's just chomping at the bit for a license to kill league because then we got another MVP situation on our hands.
Oh, he's already filled out his times pages there though.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yep. That's very true. Um, you brought up PD though. There was an interesting post on the forums in the league topic, and our friend Pogo decided that he may just, in fact, pick up the PD cart for league this year.
Yeah, I think he did a little bit last year too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like top 15 Goldeneye skill. So plug that into PD. You just need somebody to fill in the knowledge gaps, and then you're going to get the execution and the clutchness of
Oh
a
yeah.
top 15 GE player. So that's yeah, he's a really good value pick. I think maybe even better than Colton
Yeah.
actually, if
Yeah.
depending on
I
how
mean,
much
he's got the PD cart. Yeah.
playtime he's got. He's really good value.
Yeah. Well, before we move on to some of the other specialists and maybe some of the other players, this is actually somebody we brought up while testing the other night as well. One of the new players on the scene, Mr. Chris Gonzalez.
I've seen him in
I want
chat.
to give a shout out to him.
Seen him in chat as well. Yeah, come in
Yeah.
and started tearing shit up really quick. So making himself known for league, I guess. Is
Yeah.
do we know if Chrissy G's got a PD card?
I do not know. I do not know. If he's, you say he's in the chat, he should give us a response on that
I
because
saw him
that would
earlier.
only
I haven't
boost
seen
his
him for a
draft
bit.
stock even higher.
Yeah, but I mean, he got his first world record in the last week, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
really good, really good opportunities. Really good opportunity for him to come in. There, he's got one, but he's never plugged it in. All right, so agent levels only. Agent levels
Okay.
only.
Yeah. Yeah.
No war times,
Yeah.
unless you got the mythical unlocked cart. Um, isn't that nice if that's ever happened? Did you have that happen with any of your carts when you bought them? Did they come unlocked?
My Goldeneye Japanese cart came unlocked,
Oh,
thankfully,
blessed.
because yeah, my NTSC cart, it was pretty much blank. I had to do everything, and I still actually haven't unlocked Egypt on that because I mean it's unlocked on my Jap card. I don't feel like going through it, you know.
Yep.
But thankfully that I had to go through Perfect Dark on my own, which
Ooh.
was a complete nightmare.
Yeah. PDPA is all kinds of brutal. Um,
It is.
I spent a couple of hours maybe, um, messing about with the controller packs and transferring files. So I worked out, I reverse engineered the save data in order to modify the version on there. So I only had to complete it once, and then I've to unlock it on both my J cart and my PAL cart. So I'd completed it on, I've completed a playthrough on EverDrive, and so then I took that save file, put it into a hex editor on the computer, modified the version of it so I could then upload that same file onto my J cart and onto my PAL cart, so I didn't have to complete playthroughs on J and PAL.
You son of a bitch! Wow,
That
I
that's
wish I would
how
have like ah.
that's how
I should have got
far I
a
will
hold of
go
you
to not
sooner.
have to play PD, PA.
Wow, that's genius though. If my PD card ever gets erased, I'm sending it to you.
And then because I'm a mate, I helped Wally out with it. So, in fact, I'm not going to tell you where it is, but if anybody has an EverDrive, there's instructions on how to do it up on the forum because I shared it with everybody. I didn't hoard that knowledge for myself. It's up there on the forums if anybody ever
Okay.
needs it, including links to
Okay.
files that you need. But yeah, that's what I did
That's
rather.
good information. That's
That's
good
what I did
information.
rather than actually play through PDPA again or again.
Yeah. Honestly, your time is probably better served searching the forums than spending hours on PA levels. I mean,
Yeah,
so
yep.
well, I mean, we went through a lot of the high impact first rounders there. There's still a lot of tier one players left. Um, do you think that JD will stop for the Untied and become a quality league player?
I don't know. It depends. Depends. There's no untied bonuses this year, so
Yeah, it really wouldn't benefit him too much, honestly, for league anyway.
but I don't know. JD's his GE times page is pretty well full up. There's no free PBs there. He's got a half empty PD times page, so yeah,
Mm-hmm.
could go through and fill that. Could go through and
Yeah,
fill that. Kind of got
yeah.
yeah. There's a few players in that kind of band where they've got plenty of gaps to fill. Like Craig McGrath, I think is in a similar sort of situation. QWERTY probably too.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah,
once you start getting that level, you're hoping to get players that are motivated. I think.
yeah. Um, yeah. Once you get around that area, you're getting to you're starting to get into the question of how motivated are you to play the game that you don't want to play. It's not really like that bad. I mean, obviously, if they didn't want to play it, they didn't want to play it. But
Yeah,
I mean, it's their primary game for a reason, you know.
yeah, and we're not saving lives here, but you know we're here to have a bit of fun. So
um, it's funny you bring up QWERTY. I mean, I wonder if his middle school is going to be on summer break for him to play on summer league.
I don't know. Is a middle school on shutdown, or are they still operating over there? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Beyond
We'll have
that
to
time.
ask him. Maybe he got lucky. He got a long summer break. Um, do you think the Madman Fletcher would fire up PD? He's been quoted as saying GE.
Um, Again, I think it depends on whether the competitive spirit comes out and burns deep within him or not.
Yeah.
Um, I think that like last year, you could see that he just came out and tore shit up. So he's got knowledge across both of the games. Um, but yeah, you know, if he it's no longer we're getting the end of May, right? So it's the end of the month of what are we in the month of at the moment? I can't even remember.
If
Uh,
you're talking about his stream, I think he's streaming the month of Frigate right
Month of
now.
Frigate.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'll finish the month of frigate and be ready to play something. But I mean, he's top five GE at this point, so there's not much low hanging fruit there now. It's got to be back on the PD cart.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much where his money's going to be made.
Yeah.
Um, so that would pretty much conclude like your hardcore first rounders. I will shout out Boatman real quick because he's got a lot of ground to make up on Perfect Dark, and I don't know if he's PAL only, but if he's not PAL only, then his GE times page is right for the picking too.
Yeah, completely, completely.
Yeah,
Kid's got some real good potential.
yeah,
The other people that are kind of on my list in that area, yeah, Frosttops. He's got his LTK untied now, so um,
yeah. If he's motivated to play.
yeah, if you can pick the Enigma.
Mm-hmm.
Dusky and Clobber are both in that kind of range as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Now that Klaba is
Clobber.
he's out of Egypt's jail. He's been getting a lot of good times on other levels too. He's been shaking it up.
Yeah, gone out and Slybob for first round. Slybob for first round.
We can start that hashtag. I'm cool with that. Absolutely, I'm cool with that. Yeah, that's a good point you brought up. Both Clobber and Dusky both have the first round potential as well. Um, if he's active, which I mean, we kind of get into questions as to what he's up to. Joris,
Yeah,
if he's active, you know he has the talent.
absolutely, absolutely. But
Yeah.
he went through and deleted all his PD times, so maybe not playing PD at all.
Yeah. Hmm.
He's 600 episodes deep into One Piece. Oh, that's some anime, I think. So,
From what I understand, that means he's probably only about halfway through.
but it sounds like he's taking a healthy break. So,
Yeah.
maybe if you're picking Joris, you're hoping that he continues to burn through that quickly, and maybe makes a return at the midpoint of league, or do you not pick him up and try and get inside line and drop another player and pick him up on the
Yeah.
on the midpoint?
You bring up an interesting point. He could be one of those waiver wire picks that's hot later on in the league.
Yeah, that could be where it
Yeah.
goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got to keep an eye on the waiver wires. The teams, well, as the season goes along, definitely. Um,
Well, there's something different between this and a regular fantasy league. There is no waiver wire. It's just first in, best dressed.
mhm.
You go, yeah. So all of the captains, there's no cut for trades in and out. It's just go quick. So they've got a limited number of trades, I think, off the top of my head. But yeah, if you see somebody, you got to snap them up quick.
Exactly. Yeah. Our league, I think we're limited to 5 drops per team. So
5 drops. Yep.
yeah, you got to you got to you got to act fast, definitely. Um, it kind of brings up really some of the. Oh no, wait! Before I do that, I've got to shout out somebody who is a hardcore grinder, and he's got potential perfect dark, but the Cradle Master himself, Dynamics. If he gets into the points mindset and not the grind mindset, then you could have yourself a value pick.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing with Dinah is his playtime seems to perfectly coincide with my sleep time, so I never see anything of what that man's up to directly. um, I've told him this directly, but the way he picks levels just messes with my head too much. He seems to pick the worst levels to play. But
Unbelievably the worst.
he's yeah. So if you can, yeah, if you can focus Dinah to not to do like Dinah's like the anti-perner, right? Like he picks a level and he sticks with it until he gets it.
Oh yes. Oh wow. You got two opposite ends. You got
We're talking,
Perna, who is ADD, and then you got Dinah, who cannot stay away from one
who's
level.
like hyper focused, yeah, right. So if you can if you can
Yeah.
imagine picking a team with Dinah and Perna in it. Actually, firstly, imagine a conversation between Dinah and Perna. That would be
Oh
hilarious.
Jesus Christ. Oh wow. I would love to be a part of that voice chat. Honestly.
I think we could charge admission to that. Like you can come in, you're going straight on mute, and we're listening to whatever the fuck the two of these choose to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. You would have to charge admission for that. You'd have to.
But if you can get one a little bit from one to rub off on the other, yeah, you're gonna have a really good pick there.
Yeah. Yeah. Need to get like some Dragon Ball Z fusion type stuff going on. Just fuse them together, and then
What's the dance they need
you
to
got
do? Like,
yourself
is it
one hell of a
like
pick.
this kind of thing?
Yeah, the dance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you get them two to dance, do the fusion dance, you've got a high quality pick. Definitely.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, Harry. Yes. Oh, that's exactly 100% what I said. Please report my stream.
what happens?
Uh,
I don't have chat pulled up right now.
Harry in chat, you want Dinah to rub off on a kid? That's right.
Oh, right, right, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's what we're all about in the league pre-show. Definitely.
that's right. We've
Well, we we touched on some people returning before.
we did.
We've got some. Honestly, we've got some ancient people returning.
We've got
and
some
it's
dinos coming back. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, like, you have your list right here, and I have mine. And the first one that I brought up as far as returning goes is the first one that you brought up, and that's Golden Vince or Vincent Rollin.
Yep.
Perfect Dark player. I don't think he plays Goldeneye, but he's kind of touched on it in Discord. He's gone from borderline top 50 to almost top 20 in a matter of months.
Right. I wasn't aware of that kind of progression. Wow, he's been doing really well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, you take a look at his profile. He was a former top 10 back in the day, which, that was a bygone era.
Yep.
But he still has something left in the tank, it seems.
Absolutely, yeah. And might not be going full degen, but it's obviously pretty keen to play a bit at the moment. So be really good to pick there. Alka's popping in and saying that he had an Aztec untied as well. So had some Goldeneye history there as well. But
that's very interesting.
I do like Harry's joke in chat as well. People actually older than me are coming back to the game. So very true.
Yeah, it is remarkable. It is. We saw a Wouter stream the other day.
There was a Wouter stream. Yep.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, we saw him get Project 2020, wasn't it, where he came and completed the cradle sweep. But
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Wouter could be an interesting late round risky pick. I mean, Wouter's got he's got some odd times left on his page. There's stuff like statue, I think 222s or 223 or something. There's there and despite the fact that we had a Wouterbot channel in SDS, he's come and joined us.
Yeah.
And the former champ
over, yes.
The former champ can actually come and help us out to optimize the pointless time of the game he was once champion in. That's it's a good return.
Yeah, shout out to Ted there. He's the one that brought him over. That's definitely a good call there. If he's going to be active, he might as well help us out.
That's it. Absolutely. So I think Wouter would be an interesting choice. I think, and another one who's on my list is Expert Gamer, who I noticed in chat from Alka earlier that he's just posted or at least according to Alka, he's just posted a deep sea agent PB while we've been talking about this. So, you know, I think,
Channeling in the inner dino right now.
yeah,
It's crazy.
so, um, I think he's one of the people that is motivated by Rage Quits Everdrives, which is a really good community offering to bring some people back.
Yeah, that's absolutely phenomenal
And
on
it's
his part.
worked.
I love it. I love it.
It's complete.
I wish I would have saw that about maybe a month before he posted it, because I bought an EverDrive and then he posted that. I'm like, man, you
You
know,
weren't dyno enough though. You had your PB'd in the
that's true.
last 2 years.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. It was for people who moved on. So,
We've seen
speaking of the
Taka
moving on,
coming back as well.
I was going to bring up Taka. Yes, Taka is back.
Like, what is this? 2009?
Yeah, no, I guess COVID-19 made us go backwards.
So yeah, I mean, great to see. Does Taka's a little bit? He's not involved in Discord or anything like that. So
I've not seen him on Discord.
it'd be interesting if he knows about League, whether he's active on the forums or not. Um, Dr. Light saying
Don't
you got buffed by
know.
Taka and lost the leaderboards in 2020. Who'd have thunk that?
Yeah, I know, man. I know he's borderline top 10. And I was taking a look at his times page today. If he just fixes MBR, Mr. Blonde's Revenge, then he's pretty much there.
Yeah, and that's a level that's been broken while he's been out of the game. So,
Exactly.
but that also
Yeah.
means like his ceiling is a little bit lower without skipping over to GE, um, in a league context at least.
Yeah.
Great to see him,
Yeah.
but great to see these older players coming back.
It's remarkable. It really is remarkable. I mean, I guess we really do need Sterling to hop off the boat and come join us. I mean, that's really the one
Might be
thing that
too
we're
much.
missing, it seems.
But look, if you're on the boat, are you safe from
COVID?
From yeah.
Hmm. I wonder. I wonder. We need to set up a third voice chat window and get him in here and find out for sure. That'd be a hot league like post draft guest. Just bring in Sterling Nevlet. That'd
Harry's
be the
willing
best.
to hand over stewardship of the Sheffield Speedstars to one Mr. S. Neblet if he's available.
Wow,
So
that's hot.
let's we'd like to see it. We'd like to see it.
We
Wouldn't
might
say
need
it.
to get a hold of the world's one.
Wouldn't say it would, but it'd be interesting to see. Um, I guess Jez is also on my list because Jez has come back and been playing, and
Yeah, that's always a pleasure to see. Yeah, Jez was he was before my time, but he he's still one of the younger leaders too, and that's the thing. He's back, and it seems like he's got a lot of fuel left to burn, so to speak.
yeah, absolutely. I think Wally brings up probably a good point for Jez is will he hang around? So
Yeah, yeah.
because he's
I,
got
I
a lot of
was
stuff
paying
going
attention
on
to
right now.
a little bit of the chat lobby, and he's got some stuff going on in his life, which he might not be around for league, but
Yeah,
if he is, then yeah, he could be a good value pick.
and then I guess there's a few other players that kind of popped in and popped out. Had Austin came in and finally slayed the dragon of his streets world record.
Yeah, yeah. Another player that was before my time, but it was nice to see him come back and do that, because that's been on his to-do list for a long time, it
Yeah,
seems.
well, I had to get filled in on the story. I wasn't aware that he was there going for the 111 as an untied. So I had to get filled in on that. It was before my time as well. So it was, yeah, that was a proper
Yeah,
redemption arc to come back and get that.
definitely. And then he wins. He goes on to get the 155s as well.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
gets the leaderboards there.
I've paid attention to wherever he streams, and wherever he streams Goldeneye, his little caption is "Race for the top 50s." So it seems like
All right,
he's
got
dedicated
something
to
up?
rise up the rankings.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, good returns. Definitely good returns. there was some brief flashes of Bezgabov as well.
Yeah, he's floating there or thereabouts. Um,
Hmm.
we'll see whether that's for real or whether it's just the rumors, a shadow, an enigma.
Yeah, another enigma. Yeah, yeah. Um, I suppose maybe if you're out of ideas later on in the draft, but we'll get to the riskier picks later on. We got to talk about some of the new players.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what League's all about.
Yeah, yeah. We've got a lot of new players on the rise here, and one of the first people that I had written down was Cycroptic Zach, and I see that you had it written down too. And I guess there was a rivalry between
Oh,
him and a new player, Tide King.
that's right. It was an amazing rivalry. I loved. Cycroptic had that up in his stream for Bunker 117. It was Tide King must be defeated. You know, these are the types of rivalries.
Oh, throwing it down. All right.
These are the types of rivalries that we need more of. You know, like I want to see.
You're damn right. Yeah, we need some blood
I want to
being
see
thrown
more of the
around.
Fletcher Samo rivalry. You know, I want to see. I want to see the Tide King Cycroptic rivalry. I want to see this bubble away and burst into flame. And
Oh man.
I can only hope that it gives us a video as epic as the call and response that we got for times for between Fletcher and Samo, like Cavs SA 138, like classic video.
Yeah. 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 It may be a tough ask. It may be a tough ask because those two knew how to throw it down between themselves. But if we get anywhere close to something like that between two players like such
Even
as
halfway there.
Zach and Tide King, then yeah, that just breathes in new life. Definitely, some league rivalries definitely would definitely help out.
Well, and I mean but they're both early enough on that curve, right, where they could theoretically be picked in the same team. So imagine that. Imagine that they could be like Keen U last year, which ended up uniting Samo and Fletcher. So the rivals
You got to put your
could be on the
differences
same.
aside and win a damn league. Yeah.
We'll see where they get picked up. Another
Yeah.
the Borshemore, the Borsch Horde came out last week, which
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah.
idea that was coming.
Hmm. Out of left field.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
to do all of that unsupported, I think is the thing that really impressed me about that. You know, like I don't know how you would get a lot of those noob times just yourself. You obviously had to work quite a lot to
Yeah.
to be able to do that.
Yeah. I know starting out, if I was to do it by myself, which actually kind of circles in, I started in 2018. I was kind of doing it on my own, and I got burnt out really fast. So to have that community aspect as a new player is invaluable. So it kind of speaks volumes as to the fact that he was able to do all that on his own, or at least through the support of. He had somebody else that he was hoarding with, except
You had an
the other person
anonymous
dropped out.
helper, yeah. You know, well, we haven't
Yeah.
seen Joris around, so maybe
That would be the plot twist. Yeah, Joris.
Joris and
He.
Borshord.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah, the understudy. We
Yeah,
know what you're up to, Joris. We got our eye on
it
you.
turns out Borshmore got all those times with 2.4, and he's
The plot
the prodigy.
thickens. Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, that's another interesting pick too. Borshmore, now that he's done hoarding, maybe he'll be able to pick up some more points. Um,
Yeah, good. Really good noob pick.
Mason, Mason's a good pick too. Goodle shoes for people who don't know.
Yeah, uh, he's been around, joined at a similar sort of time that I did, and originally just seemed to play statue and bossed statue. Has
Mhm.
gone out and got his 500 to get his Elite role now. So yeah, if he's got a chance, absolutely,
Yeah,
really good pick.
yeah.
Empty,
Well,
pretty much empty
I
times
think a lot of
page.
He's got potential too. Do you know? Is he a PD player as well?
I'm not sure he's got it. So can we can have a look, shall we? But where are we? Don't even know how to use our website. No, he hasn't joined the PD ranks yet, so
Not
don't know
yet.
whether he
All right.
owns a cart or not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would only help things for sure. But
Well, he's
he's
dropped
an
in the
interesting.
chat that he's willing to pick up PD. So
Oh,
further
okay
comment
then.
in Discord. So yeah, Goodle's a really strong pick then.
Yeah, definitely. If he's willing to pick it up, there'll be a learning curve for sure. But I mean, anybody could hop into Chicago Agent and grind away at that. And that's a 90-point time.
Yep.
So yeah. Um, if we're talking about new people, I think everybody knew this one was coming eventually. One of the honestly one of the fastest rising ones that we've had, and one of the biggest surprises is Gamer Girl.
Yep. 100%.
Um, she, it seemed like she was going to be a flash in the pan. I agree with your notes here, but she stuck with it, and that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was there in that first stream. I think it was posted up in Adhaven where she was playing through. I think she was originally playing through Secret Agent, and that got too hard, so she dropped back to Agent and got to the end of that, and then I think it was Dinah offered her 200 bits to get sub 1 minute on
It's all Dinah's fault. He ruined
sub
her.
1 minute on Damn.
He ruined her.
And her first
Yeah.
first run through, she got 2 minutes 26 or something, 2 minutes 45. I don't know. It's like this probably isn't going to happen. And then she's worked it down to sub 1 minute that way, and she's just stuck with it. And then even then, I thought she was going to get 53 and disappear because 53 is enough of an achievement on its own.
Yeah.
Um, but she's just kept going, absolutely just kept going. So yeah, gonna be a pretty solid pick. Lots
I
of
think so too.
you know yeah, playing Cradle at the moment because apparently Dinah is you know
Of course, Dinah's going to have her play Cradle. Of course.
yeah
Of course.
yeah yes. So perhaps another coach there might be useful.
Yeah. Yeah. Under the right tutelage, she could be something good, definitely.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, not only besides Dam 53, she got Archives 18, which, I mean, for a beginner, that's one of the goals you want to hit is like sub 20 on Archives, and you're heading the right way with 18. And then, yeah, she's been working on the other parts of the Boring Four, too, which, I mean, the Boring Four is the Boring Four, but that's also a lot of points for League.
And stuff like Depot 26 didn't take her long at all. She got that
Yeah.
faster than plenty of other players.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, good opportunity, I think.
I think so too. I think so too. Yeah, we'll keep our eye on her. Um, yeah, you brought up some of the other ones here. Like there, you'd be digging deep into the well if you were to reach this far, considering they don't have any points. But people like Jackstar and Karma Machine, they have 0 points, but they're working on it.
Yeah, they're right on that threshold.
Yeah,
And B Rose the same.
yeah,
Was watching a bit of Jack's stream the other week and last week I think, and he's got 53 potential there. He needs to get the right run together. Needs to have a clean go at it, but that's there, and with we're going to have if we've got 11 captains picking 5 players each. That's 66 active players. We're going to be going pretty deep.
absolutely. Yeah,
So,
yeah. Very deep draft. You can make arguments all over the board that some of these tier twos belong in tier one because of the depth of the draft, and then some of the tier threes could be bumped up. I mean, you can make those arguments all day, but the thing about those picks that we brought up, there's a lot of risk involved too.
absolutely.
So hold on a second. My computer decided to do something weird here. I need to close something out. Technical difficulties
It wouldn't be
arises
a
yet
Cal stream
again.
without tech difficulties. Even if it
I know.
is,
I'm surprised we made it this far.
even if it is your, even if it is coming from your end, it wouldn't be a Cal stream without some technical
Of
difficulties.
course, of course, mate. I know. I know. Well, let me get this brought up here.
But yeah, there's like I think that's going to be the thing. Once we get deep into this draft, we're going to be you're going to need to start pulling out some of these risky picks to see,
Hmm.
and that that could be the difference. A couple hundred points here or there on whether your risky pick comes off or does or doesn't come off.
Yeah,
So it's it's going to be a deep draft. It's going to be good.
it's crazy how much you and I are on the same wavelength because you sent me some of your risky picks that we're going to do here in just a second, and just there's like maybe two names that I have written down that you don't have written down, and
Right.
it's crazy how much we're on the same spectrum with this right here. So what we'll do here, we'll kind of play it like a lightning round. We'll quick fire some names,
Yep.
and basically it'll be like, are they going to be drafted? Are they not? We'll kind of give a quick explanation as to why or why not.
I'm
Um,
keen to hear from
if the
chat
chat,
about what they think their
yeah,
risky
yeah,
picks
I was
might
going to
be.
say let's get the chat involved too. Like if there's anybody that you think would be questionable as to draft, lay it on us, and we'll address it for sure. But I think since we brought up Taka earlier, I think that's number one right now. Since he's like a top player, do you think Taka will be drafted?
I think someone's going to take the risk. Yeah, yeah. I
You
don't
think
know
so?
who, but I reckon somebody's going to make the call. Like you
Yeah,
said, he's got MBR times to fill no matter what. So there's
yeah, he
yeah.
does. Yeah.
So
I'm in the opposite boat just because we talked about how he's kind of disconnected from the community.
yep.
Um, I will think he'll be a waiver wire pick, though. I think someone's going to be like, okay, he's still getting PBs. I'm going to pick him up, but I'm not going to draft him yet, just in
Might be
case.
worthwhile holding off until he gets the first MBR and then pulling him in when the other two fall.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You got a name for me?
Alka.
Alka. Oh, Alka. Well, he says he doesn't want to play for League, but um,
He'll go
that's,
negative
I
points
mean,
then
that's
because
not
he'll get boxed hard.
really. um, he posted in the forums that he doesn't want to play for League. I think people will respect that, and I think he'll be left alone in draft. You think he'll be drafted?
No. No. Jimbo in chat.
Oh, Jimbo, big Jimbo. He hasn't shown any signs of playing lately. He's been a family man, so I don't think anybody will use a pick on him. If there's somehow a magical Jimbo stream that we get in the middle of the league, someone may take the chance and do a little waiver pickup on him. But I don't think he'll be drafted. Do you think he'll be drafted?
No, I don't think so. Even if he does come back, he's going to play for Jungle 50 rather than chasing around after league points.
Yeah, he's been chasing that for a while.
Yep.
So if he were to come back, he would probably try and accomplish that goal. I agree. Um, I got one for you. Our pal Luke Sklar's.
Ooh. So Luke got the elusive 23 a few weeks ago. Still going
He
on.
did.
Still going on bunker 2. Got there, but unless you've got some sort of inside line, I'd say that Luke's probably pretty risky. He's still working. He's got a pretty full, damn near full times page on GE.
Mm-hmm.
So can you motivate him to play Perfect Dark? Is basically the question. And yeah, he's probably no,
True.
probably a no.
I would say you'd be just banking on the world record bonus of Bunker 200,
Yep.
which I mean he's paced 53, and from what I've seen in Discord, but I think he's kind of going like, well, if I get 54, I may call it. I don't know, unless you have an inside line, he may try and
I don't
slay it.
I don't
But
think Luke
I think
actually knows until he gets a complete.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, and
I'd,
That's the thing. It could take him maybe a month for that to happen with how Bunker 200 is.
I'd say if you look at Luke historically, often he's just kept going until he's got the world records. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him keep going for 53 if he does get 54, but you never know.
Yeah.
Next one I'll throw at you is Dogger.
Dogger is a very risky pick, and I was actually going to bring that up to you as well. So the thing about him is, whenever he wants to play Perfect Dark, he he's damn good at it, and he'll get you points on Perfect Dark. You cannot count on him for GE points right now, though, because he's going for Bunker 116 and Depot 23, and you could wait a whole league before those complete, you know?
Yep.
So if he's going to play Goldeneye, I don't see him playing for points in the traditional league sense. If you see him pop up with a Perfect Dark stream, maybe you could take the chance. But he's all over the place with his streams, so you really don't know what he's playing, honestly.
Yep.
Do you think he'll be picked up?
Um, a month ago, I would have said yeah, because was it a month or 2 months ago where he was? Yeah, it was where he was, working his way through PD and just cleaning shit up. So,
Yeah.
yeah, at the moment, no. At the moment, I think there. But I mean, like you said, if he does pick up PD or start streaming again, somebody might jump on that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely agree there. Oh, here's somebody. Speaking of Bunker 200, do you think Green gets drafted?
No, I don't think Green gets drafted. Yes.
I don't think so either, honestly. But he was playing for Train a little bit ago.
Oh, was he? Right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, clearly very high skill, but doesn't seem to be playing too much. So unless again, this is the type of stuff where if you're a captain, you might be trying to DM them or email them and work out whether they are actually keen to play and maybe get a deep pick out of someone like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got the Discord window pulled up and I don't have chat pulled up. So is chat giving us anything?
No, not too much. They're just responding to us. But I am interested in what your thoughts are on Profile Joe. Whether he's going to get
Profile Joe is damn near a tier 0 pick.
Yes.
And I'm surprised we didn't talk about him before. But you hand around those Profile Joes in the elite lobby, you see why. You see why Samuel Wurzelbacher is a star in the making.
It's happening. It's happening. Is this the elusive return, though? Like, is he just going to wait and continue to build suspense, or is he going to come back for League?
Oh, man. It will be monumental. Monumental whenever the Joe return happens. And let's assume that it happens after League. You're going to see everybody drop a player at once and put in a waiver claim. And it's going to be the most ridiculous thing.
Who can be fastest to respond to the thread? Get him in.
Yeah. Whoever has the best internet connection wins the Samuel Wurzelbacher. Yes, indeed.
Another player out there with perfect carbonation levels. What do you think about picking a Lou up?
And that's the thing as well. Is he well carbonated? If he's well carbonated, you're talking about a first round pick. If you're talking about zero carbonation, then you probably better leave him on the waiver wire, you know?
Cinnamon Scrolls, you can work his way in there. You might get an airbase 110 or something out of him.
Yeah, just send him some rehab, and then you got yourself a tier zero pick for sure.
Got anyone else left on your list?
I had one that I didn't see that was in yours. We kind of touched on earlier, though. All memes aside, do you think Swiss will be drafted? Not unless Ace
or somebody has got him worded up. Well, I haven't seen any times
Yeah,
out of him.
inside knowledge.
Yeah, but if you've got some
Yeah,
inside knowledge that he's going to play, then absolutely.
yeah, yeah. And and speaking of inside knowledge, I had somebody that you brought up, and I kind of just not really thrown by the wayside, but I know he's using VHS tapes, so there's not really a way for him to be a part of this league. And I think you know who I'm talking
Yeah, I
about.
know where you're going.
Joey. Yeah. Yeah. What's old Joey up to?
I don't know. We haven't seen too much out of Joey since he got the runway 22s, I think, didn't he? And I'm not sure I've
Yeah.
seen much from our mate since then. Um, so I think, and I don't even know what would happen, but phone proof would be perfectly acceptable to claim the daily bonus. It wouldn't pass proof policy, but it'd be enough to claim a daily bonus. So
Yeah.
maybe there's an opportunity there, but yeah,
Yeah. Honestly, if he were to say he had some kind of crazy untied on a VHS, unless he had some way of proving that he got this during league time, it'd be just you're opening up a whole can of worms right there. Like, okay, I've got it captured and I sent it in, but did he get it before league?
yeah,
That's another question mark you got to deal with.
yes. Well, Paulie will issue swift ban hammers for anybody who's thought to have been hoarding. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so I guess moving towards wrapping up here, I thought it'd be interesting to have a look at a few predictions across league.
yeah. Some league predictions.
I jotted a few notes. Did you add anything or have any of your own?
Um, yeah, I've got a couple as far as like MVP and most world records and who's going to win, of course.
All right.
I saw that you had a couple related to the SDES, so I'll let you go ahead and
Well,
drop your bombs on us for that.
Chicago 16 is like this is like a lightweight pred, but Chicago 16 is dead by end of league. It's down to what 12
It's
points or
gone.
something.
It's gone.
It's
Yeah,
so dead. If you
yeah,
don't have 15 yet, please get 15 in league. Don't get it now.
yeah.
Hold off.
Mm-hmm.
Go get it in league.
Yeah, but it's not surviving league.
Um, and yeah, it nearly was dead last year. Wally, we both did our bits, but not everybody came through, mate. That's what the problem was.
Yeah,
But yeah, I reckon SDS is going to be pretty heavy because like I said, we're going deep. There's 66 players, and
yeah.
particularly, there's going to be a lot of empty PD times pages that are going to start to get filled in. So I reckon we're going to see about 60 seconds shaved off the PD PTRs, and
Whole minute.
yeah, I'm going for the whole minute. 1 second each level. The
Yeah.
PTR on defection is going to be 6 by end of league. That just
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get prepared for my
no,
5 now. That's crazy.
that might be a bit too much, but certainly some of those PA levels. Once a few people drop a few times in there, it's like the old Cavs double O. Like you can a couple of times drops full seconds easily.
Yeah.
So I reckon 60 seconds can happen there. And I'm getting a bit ambitious here, but I'm hoping to see about 15 seconds come off the bottom end of Goldeneye.
Honestly, I could see it. I mean, it's like you said, it's going to be PD central as far as league goes. That's usually the way it goes. But I could see 15 whole seconds coming off of it too. Yeah,
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 there's just stuff out there like we've probably even seen 15 seconds come off Aztec double O in the last month with all the players getting
yeah,
sub 2 minutes there. Like that was the PTR was 2:20 there just a few weeks ago. So
yeah.
yeah, 15 seconds might not be completely out of the way.
I got an SDES for you.
All right, let's hear it.
Surface two agent is going to be hit hard during league.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard. Yeah, I think
49 still
47
worth points, isn't it?
48 is still
48.
49 is still worth points.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's worth like 3, but I mean, it's gonna pass away. I think 48's gonna pass away as well.
Yeah, yeah, yep. They're
So
I don't know. My favorite 48 that I've ever seen was EC's 48, where he hits the 45 pin, turns around to go look at. Oh shit! Still 48.
yeah, we had to throw in the EC mention in there definitely. I think he'll be a great last round or late round pick, I should
Yeah,
say. I
absolutely.
think he'll be drafted this year, but we had to throw his 48 out there because I mean, yeah, that's mate, come on. But yeah, 48's gonna
48's
48's gonna
Gonzaga.
push up daisies.
Yep.
Um,
Sorry, 48 will pass away. I forgot we adhere to the SEMI values.
yeah,
48 will
exactly.
pass
Yeah,
away.
it will pass away. Yes. Um, the statue bottom rungs will pass away as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
The I believe it's 223 agent and then 222 for all the others. Um, that will be. It's not really a bold prediction, but I mean,
They're all
statues do.
low single digits. Yep. There's a fair chance that that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
No, take that
So, who
out
are
of
your
your mouth,
predictions?
Clobber. Take that shit out of your mouth. Depot 26 will never die. Depot
It will
26.
never die.
It's
Never. It will never pass away.
number one in my heart for all time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I will fly over to. I'll fly over to Australia and knock a couple back with you the day it passes away. It's gonna be. It's gonna be that heartbreaking,
I
man.
will. I'll
Definitely.
cry myself to sleep that night because
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than the depot warp. There is.
Uh, uh, yeah. Yeah. 26 isn't going to pass away this league, but uh, well, listen, we don't want to end on a sad note. We don't want to end on a sad
No,
note. So,
no.
who's your pick for MVP and winner and all that good stuff?
I think MVP. I think Zella's the MVP. That's why we've gone for him. As we both kind of immediately
Yep.
jumped at him as the tier zero pick. So MVP gonna
Yeah.
go for him. But that's a lot of weight on his shoulders, right? He's got to come through,
He's got to
even if
do
you
it.
do
Yeah,
think.
he's got to do it. But I mean, he seems to be the favorite.
Yep. How about you?
I have MVP as Zelliver as well.
Yep.
I if for some reason Zelver is not able to come through, if he has real life stuff come up or
Yep.
just loses motivation, then I'd say Piss Pounder is your
Good call.
silver medalist as far as that goes.
I mean, we always kind of see a bit of a breakout player in league of some variety too. So, do you have any thoughts on who might be a breakout player this year?
I'm gonna go with Repo on that one. I think
Repo?
Repo's gonna, yeah, I think he'll his train skill is gonna transfer well to other levels, and if he wants to play PD, that's just icing on the cake. But even in his draft notes for potential picks, he's been holding off on points in other levels for leagues. So I think he'll be the one to break out this league.
Yep.
How about yourself?
I'm gonna back our boy Perna. I reckon.
Arna,
Yeah.
yes.
Yep. I reckon Perna's gonna. He's got plenty of time on his hands. I reckon he's gonna grow up just that little bit, and I reckon Perna's gonna be a bit of a breakout. Just a quick comment from Eric here in chat saying Chris Gonzalez for breakout, which is
Yeah,
probably quite a reasonable call. Probably quite a
very,
reasonable
very
call.
real chance, honestly. I mean, the kid's already almost broken out. So, I mean, that's a very real chance. Yeah,
Do
I like that. I like that a lot.
you have a pick of
Um,
what team you reckon's going to win?
if you asked me before the draft, I was going to pick group therapy from Yindis.
Yep.
Okay. And I am going to stick by that pick because I think that he will find a way to work the later rounds and become a wizard. I think the guy's just super competitive, super knowledgeable, and uh, he'll find a way to come through.
Uh,
Absolutely.
good good call. My
How
pick
about yourself?
is Randy and the Dirty Burger. So
Ah, yes.
I had like I mentioned earlier. I think Randy's kind of a hyper competitive guy and really lifted his game last league. And yeah, pick number two. You know, if got pick number two in the draft gives you a really good spot to pick up some sort of beast to destroy the game alongside him. So
Absolutely phenomenal position. Yeah.
yeah, picking the dirty burger to come up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think actually we're both in agreement on this one. I took a look at your notes, but um, we'll go ahead and ask the obvious question anyway. Who's going to have the most world records during league?
Leosko, easily.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
No
Yeah.
chance anybody else is
Leosko's going to
going
tear
to
it
come
apart.
close.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot foresee anybody else even coming close. And he'll have the support of Ace as well, which I mean that's got to be a good, good for the mental side,
Yeah,
definitely.
probably the best player of all time is going to help him out. How can he not?
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, those are all solid predictions, and very solid insight. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about before we let go, and it's kind of something that I didn't want to keep notes on, and I kind of wanted to keep you a little bit in the dark about it too, just so that way it's a little bit straight from the heart. What would be a message for the new players be? What would a message be from you to them for the league?
Yeah, get involved. Don't be scared. Make yourself
Yeah.
known. I think at this
Mm-hmm.
point, yeah, don't pop into the Discord channel or into the forum and pick it up. And yeah, and Harry's right. Play PD. But yeah, put
Yeah.
yourself out there. Put yourself out there before the draft so that captains know that you're interested in playing.
Yeah.
Give them, it's you don't have to write a resume, but give them an idea about what your playing capacity is, what you've done so far,
Yeah.
and yeah, play PD because the lower ranges of, particularly if you can chase daily bonuses, even getting a 1 point time on PD is significantly easier than on Goldeneye. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you can get a 1 point time, you get 25 point bonus. That's 26 points. That's a
Yeah.
decent day's output for most people.
Cash
So
it in.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. To add on to that, to make yourself known, um, whatever game you want to specialize in, fill out your NAs as much as possible. Even if it's like a 10-minute time on Double O or a 20-minute time on PA, fill out your times page as much as possible. So that way it shows the captains that you're willing to at least give the levels a try. It's one of the faults that I had with Goldeneye. I kind of left Goldeneye B, and whenever I switched over to PD, um, I played through the levels and I had terrible completions on some of the secret agent and perfect agent levels, but it actually activated something in me like, oh, I want to learn this now. This is something that's interesting to me. So, you may find something that you didn't know that you had inside of you, and um, don't get discouraged if you don't get drafted either.
no, not
Um,
at all.
one of our team captains, Steve, was not drafted last year, and he was picked up as a free agent, and he completed three of the boring four while on the team.
Yeah,
You know,
came in and did a really good job. And for EC last year, I think not getting picked was actually a really good thing for his development. So, if you don't get picked,
yeah,
you don't get
yeah,
there's no harm in it. It's all a bit of casual fun. But yeah,
yeah,
get into the Discord and get on the forum if you are keen to get involved. I guess
yeah, yeah.
before we wrap up, I'll let chat ask any questions or topics of discussion that they want to hear about, unless I'm just conscious that it's probably getting towards your dinner time over there, Spice Man, whether you need to run along and eat some dinner.
Um, yeah, I'll be heading out in the next 15 minutes or so, but I think we're pretty close anyway.
Yep,
So I can stick around for some chat.
Spice Man.
Um,
But
I got
yeah,
I got
Zach, we're keen to
Clopper
have you
down
involved, mate.
here.
You definitely got there. What
What levels on the
levels?
list this week? What levels on the
I'm
list?
not sure. And
Well, if I'm being honest with you, I'm being perfectly honest. It's whatever level is first on the daily bonus. But but I'm hoping that it's Chicago Agent because I want 16 to come to an end.
Kill it dead. Kill it dead.
Yeah, yeah, exactly right. What about if you wanted to play this year, Cal? What would be like on the list for you? What would be a goal for you?
Um, Individual level wise, I'm not too sure. I hadn't, don't have
Really?
anything immediately in mind. I guess I've
Oh,
got,
Polly's going to give us spoilers.
I I guess the first one that's probably on my hit list is Mayan Agent. Um, because I tried playing that last year and I just couldn't do the first part fast enough. I'm probably a better player now to be able to do that, and I've got the cheat console so I can get the slow lift. So
Yeah,
yeah, probably Mayan
that's
Agent.
another thing as well. I wish I had a PAL console and a retro tink so that way I could play some of those PD levels like Deep Sea and make Mayan Agent and Secret Agent easier.
Yeah,
Um, I don't have that available, so keep that in mind if you decide to draft me. But it's going to be a real PD heavy league for me for sure.
yeah. I probably wouldn't have them if I wasn't in Australia and it was just that's literally my childhood console. I've still got the original one that we got.
Um,
But
yeah. Oh, Yendis, you're breaking my heart, buddy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Um, when will retro team players be banned for hardware manipulation? You know, that's a great point. That is a great point. How dare we make the game easier, right?
yeah, more accessible. No, no good. We're
Yeah.
gonna handicap everybody to CRTs.
Yeah. I mean, if Perna can get top 100 without a retro tink, then I mean that means everybody should, right?
Yeah, I've actually got a retro tink on order because I've just gone out and bought a insane 65-inch OLED TV that I'm keen to play Goldeneye on it, where all the pixels are going to be this big individually.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
let's watch cricket on that TV. Exactly what it's exactly cricket and Formula One. That's what it's happened, Paulie. But we're getting there's just shit talk happening in chat now, so there's not too much real topics.
yeah, there's a not a lot going on now. I think this is the perfect time to call it. But Cal, I really appreciate you participating in this with me because
Thanks for reaching
ever
out.
since we kind of talked about doing something like this, I figured the league was a perfect setting for it to happen. So
Yeah, and
really appreciate it.
well, I was originally intending on doing some sort of mate chat this weekend, and I have been too flat out with work to organise that yet. So this is there. I'll probably drop this into
Yeah.
the once I spit it over onto YouTube. I'll probably drop it into the league chat thread. And yeah,
Um,
the, if it
Yindis brings up a good point. Actually, we're going to do something else. Well, if Cal's up for it, I don't want to interfere with your work schedule because you've been swamped. But we've had talks of doing something else throughout league as well.
yeah, I think we're both keen to I think we're both keen to catch up one or two, or we'll see. You know what the frequency is. We'll worry about that later. But yeah, I
Yeah,
think we're maybe not weekly. That might be a little bit too frequently. We'll see. You know, it's
yeah, we'll see. We'll have to talk through it. We'll have
takes
to
away
talk it
from
through. But
takes away from our playtime, makes us less draftable stocks. We're creating content so that other people can get out there and grind. But
exactly right.
yeah, pick Slybob and see what happens. We'll finish on that. We'll, we'll finish on that. But yeah, thanks for thank. I know this is on my stream, but Spicy needs the credit for this. This is all his ideas. So um,
Yeah, well, I hit up Cal about it, and he was completely on board. And if Cal wasn't able to do it, then I was probably going to sweep it under the rug. But he was able to do it, so I'm really appreciate it. And we'll definitely do it again soon. At least one more time throughout league, I would say. But we'll try and do multiple ones for sure.
Yeah, we'll try. I guess at a minimum, we won't commit hard to this, but at a minimum, we'll try and say we'll do a mid league and an end of league, and we might sprinkle something else in
Yeah,
between.
yeah, yeah. That sounds good.
But thanks
All
everybody.
right, Cal. Well,
Thanks everyone for hanging out.
thanks again, mate. I really appreciate it. Thanks for everybody in chat.
We'll catch you all
Take it
later.
away, my friend.
See ya.